Hello again. So this week encountered a article that was kind of promising. Well, promising. It was good to see. It was from Upworthy, and it's about a mother who has a son that wears dresses. The title of the article is "Her Son Isn't Gay, Queer, or Transgendered, He Just Likes to Wear Dresses." I'm sure people will take an offense to the fact that the woman is pointing out that he isn't gay or queer or transgendered. Whereas when I saw this, I was like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. She's not trying to press that he's transgendered like so many recent articles on the topic have made it out to be. This is one of the main things I cannot stand when it comes to fashion, androgyny, expression. It seems like if a male, we all know this, if a male chooses to express themselves in a way that is different from the mainstream male, that individual is either assumed to be gay, assumed to be trans, or assumed to have mental issues. And these three things annoy me, because they're obviously not true. I'm a living proof of it. So I posted this in a conservative group that I am part of to see what people's reactions would be. One of the reactions was predictable. Yes, perception will be the only widespread repercussions. These photos will likely haunt him the rest of his life unless he continues the lifestyle. The woman is using her son to make a statement. Her statement will likely cause him problems of some sort eventually. This individual is kowtowing, as far as I'm concerned, to the fact that yes, bullies will pick on this child. He is also, as far as I'm concerned, victim blaming. He is blaming the mother for being proud of her son for breaking rules. Stupid gender rules. Now, this is the thing. Would this have been stated by this individual had it been a mother that was proud of her daughter doing quote-unquote non-girly things? Such as, mother is proud of her daughter joining baseball team. Not a softball team, baseball team. Or mother is proud of her daughter for being interested in tractors. Or stupid shit like that. It's like, why do people come up with this when it comes to boys? Why is it always the mother or the parent is pushing an agenda? It's always agenda. Have you noticed whenever someone is stepping outside of the norm, it's agenda. And it's like, why can't the parent just be proud of their kid voluntarily breaking normal rules? Because these rules make no sense, as some commenters have stated, and as I have stated. I get often asked, why do I make such a big deal out of androgyny, or out of fashion freedom for men, or men being able to express themselves in non-traditionally male ways? And my answer to that is because you do. Because people do. If a girl were to wear men's stuff, as we all know, they get away with it. They're in some ways they're praised. Actually, nowadays it's no big deal. But back in the time, that's what it was. It was like, oh, I'm proud of you for overstepping, not overstepping, but for disregarding the rules when it comes to whether women can wear pants, which until recently, even in Paris or in France, was illegal. There was actually a law that said women couldn't wear pants, although they do. That law was basically ignored, and a couple of years ago it was done away with, which it should have been, and frankly should never have been on the books. So yeah, I thought this guy's response was a typical response. It was the typical victim blaming, and essentially, how dare she publicize her child when, if the situation were with a girl, I don't think it would be publicized, or I don't think it would be frowned upon for her to publicize her daughter doing things like that. So yeah, so there was that. If you want to find the article, it's an Upworthy article. I'll see if I can post a link in the description of the video, and you can check it out for yourself. Here's something else. When I encounter an androgynous person, or a person with an androgynous style that is not gay or that is not trans, I'm actually quite happy to encounter that person because they are so rare. And people will take it as if I've got some trans misogyny or something like that. That's not the case. I don't want to be a special snowflake. I would like this sort of thing to be a little more common than it is. I would like goth style to be out on the street a little bit more often, and you know, and for people to just be able to freely express themselves. And it just gets annoying to have people automatically assume that you must be gay or you must be trans simply based on the fact you disregard gendered rules when it comes to expression. Amber's behind me, and let's see what she has to say, if anything.
Well, you know my take on those. I have so many issues with this. I don't understand why people can't get this simple concept, and it works for both sides. The simple concept is, don't fucking worry about what your child, son or daughter, whatever age, wants to wear if it's not harming anyone. So, and really, how can attire harm anyone? You know, it's not a health risk. They're not, you know, oh, I'm going to go naked to whatever, you know, and sit on. Yeah, you get the idea.
Yeah.
So, you know, if your child wants to play with a fucking doll and he's a boy, or he wants to wear a dress, a princess dress, and he's a boy, just fucking let him. I mean, what's the fucking big deal? And a lot of people are like, oh no, it's turning them gay. A lot of people that did that didn't turn gay. Not like there's any problem with being gay. I'm just saying it's not like a prerequisite.
Right.
You know? And it's just fucking stupid. And I'm gonna say the same. I know this is not the case for this woman. We hope not. That the same thing for parents who force the gender neutral stuff on their children. Are like, oh, you're playing with this. I mean, we all know how parents are, and a lot of us, you know, have controlling childhoods. We know that some parents will go out of their way to control every aspect. Now, I wouldn't put it past some parents who want to be special in the media, forcing this on their child.
Right.
I'm not saying that's the case in this case. It works both ways, and I want to make this clear because it, you know, whether you're trying to be like, I don't want my son or daughter to be gay, or you're like, oh, I want to be special, but I want to show how tolerant I am, and my kid better, you know, look this way so I look tolerant. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same fucking thing. And I've seen this a lot with like toys and stuff. I remember being in a store one time, and this little boy, there was a bag of toys, and he picked it up, and it was colorful, and it had, like, I guess, some girly things in there, or whatever. And the mother, she was speaking Spanish, you know. And we can get all into the whole sexist aspect of,
Spanish language?
well, that too, but, you know, I'm not getting, of the culture. But we won't go there, but it's there. So, you know, I mean, it's just a fucking toy. The kid was drawn to it. It was colorful. Just let them have. Oh no, it's for boys. So she was speaking. I figured it out. I know enough Spanish to know that she was saying no, that's for girls. Let your fucking. It's a little like toddler like kid, attracted to the colors and the shapes.
Right. Right.
Fuck off. Even if they were older, just fuck off. Let them choose, because you know what you're doing. All these controlling ass parents don't realize what they're doing. They're pissing their child off, so when their child gets older and can express themselves, they're going to do it anyway.
Right.
no one gives a fuck about their parents' feelings. Boo fucking who. When they're old enough, they're gonna dress the way they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna buy things the way they want. They're gonna fucking engage in whatever gender they want.
Mm-hmm.
Now, with this movement, some of it is people just being used to being free, and that's good. But a lot of this authoritarian shit that comes out of the gender stuff comes from people who have been raised in this very strict environment, or come from this very strict environment, and they think that the whole world is like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so they just assume that there's this huge structure in place. And to some extent there is. There is some sort of normalcy, you know, like the normal way of being, seeing the world. And they see something different and, oh, that's degenerate. You get this whole, like, it really irritates me, the people on the right that are like, oh, it's all degenerate and all this crap.
Yeah.
They view anything that's different as degenerate.
Yeah, that's so tiring, too. That is so
and then
beyond
the same
tiring.
people, like, you know, abuse their children and stuff. But anyways, I can go into detail about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty degenerate. But they go on about this degeneracy and all this crap.
Oh, I'm just so tired of any time someone does an article or something about menswear becoming more feminine or something like that. You have these comments of, the end of the world is nigh, this is the sign of the apocalypse, and all this sort of... It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Where? First of all, where in the Bible does it say anything about that? And if you go by Revelations, Revelations is an acid trip. Okay, it's an acid trip. I'm sorry, Aaron. Go
It's fine.
on.
Well,
But yeah.
what people are doing is they're saying, okay, and my mom does this too. She does it with technology. She's used to the TV, so the TV is okay, but the computer is evil. Like, my mom won't even go to ATMs. She goes to a teller because she believes it's like devil shit. Honestly. And it's funny because her boyfriend gets online all the time and, like, looks stuff up for her online, but she doesn't like being online.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to touch a computer because it might damn me to hell. Can you look up something for me? Wow.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like these people are used to a certain thing, and when something goes outside of that thing, then they're really, like, on edge, especially like in you know, like religious dogma, like if they're Abrahamic faith, or even other faiths that have, like, real, like, backward thought, you know, some of the more, like, hardline, you know, other religions that aren't Abrahamic, they have some bad shit in them too. I'm not letting them off the hook, trust me.
No, they do.
But they have these rigid rules and concepts of the world that is like retarded. They're just, now, you know, and that's not to say that some things don't, see, what I dislike about, like, certain aspects of, like, where the gender stuff is going is, one, it's being taught in school, and I remember, like, in some aspects, like, I saw a video where they had, like, some drag queen reading to some children in, like, grade, like, why do you need that? And she's all swishing around singing.
Yeah.
Like, why do you need that?
Yeah.
Like, I remember in kindergarten, we didn't even talk about marriage and stuff. The books we read were, like, you know, cats and little girls and their friends, you know, boys and their friends. It wasn't like, oh, well, mommy and, you know, didn't talk about marriage so much.
No,
I don't remember
They
that.
didn't really talk about marriage. Didn't really talk about religion. But I will say, gender rules were very much enforced. At least at my kindergarten.
Well,
I can
yeah.
recall clearly when. If boys even ventured towards where the dolls were, they would be immediately corralled over to the boys' toys. This did not happen with the girls. This happened with the boys. And looking back on it, how ridiculous that was. It's like, you know, I know what some boys were going to do. They were going to put Barbie in a tank, you know, or put Barbie or put Ken in a helicopter or something like that, you know. Or they were going to play with Barbie as a human being or something along those lines. But no, I'm pretty sure a lot of them were like, let's put Barbie in the Sky Striker. That didn't work.
Too, like, they tend to break Barbie's heads off.
That's true. Well, good Lord. That little myth, or not myth, but little characteristic of when it comes to Barbie, I do recall girls
do it
taking
too.
Barbie and going,
I'll actually be honest. I'll be honest. Now, Barbie, this is a side note, her neck it was easy to break eventually because the way the swivel was.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it was easy to
Oh,
do.
yeah.
Of course, some people do it on purpose. But yeah, that whole toy thing. That toy thing is retarded. Teachers shouldn't do it. Let the children gravitate toward, as long as they're not destroying the toys. I remember briefly in kindergarten, they had the little toy house, the little house that you kind of go into. It's
Oh
like
yeah,
a
we
little,
had that too. Yeah, we had one
and
of
we
those.
had like little stuffed. I don't even know if we had a baby doll, but we had like little stuffed toys.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember one of the boys was playing with the stuffed toy as a baby, and it wasn't a big deal. Like we were to get there was like a 3 or 4 of us playing house, you know.
Yeah.
And we were playing with a little stuffed toy. That's I remember that briefly.
Right.
I liked stuffed animals. I didn't really like babies. My mom really bought us a lot of like baby dolls and.
I couldn't stand baby
And I
dolls.
wasn't really into the baby dolls. I was more like dressing them was cool. Like Barbie. Oh, she went out with friends.
Mm-hmm.
My sister would play like homemaker, and I would be like, oh, we're going out and partying and going out with friends, and look at my new outfit, sort of. You know, so people play like what their personality type is.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I mean, forcing it on people, you know, it's not going to do anything. It's not going to, if anything, extra force creates the opposite.
Yeah.
It always does.
I believe that. It's possible that's some of my own drive to just bust these rules when it comes to expression. It's partially due to how my mom reacted to me doing it when I was a kid. You know, it's very possible, but maybe that's a positive. I don't know, because I would like to maybe be at the forefront of changing attitudes and those sorts of things. So yeah, with Amber's input and with what we were talking about, the bottom line is I really do not think, I really don't think, just because the mother is showing her son being a little bit more open-minded than most people would think, is her shoving an agenda, or her publicizing her son to get fame.
Not unless she's forcing it. If
Yeah,
it's
not unless-
natural,
yes.
then that's no big deal.
Exactly. If she is forcing him, that's one thing. I've seen articles where boys are going to school in skirts, and the parent is encouraging them. Now people take that encouraging as forcing.
That's not forcing.
It could
Encouragement
be,
is
but
not
I really don't
forcing.
think so. So, anyways, with that, hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you're wondering what the hell I'm wearing, this is I have reviewed it in another video on this page. And with that, I will say have a good day. Bye-bye.